Millions of us, including you, are exposed to toxic mold every day and have no idea. Most people blame fatigue and brain fog on everyday things like allergies, stress, and age. But what if the real problem was within your home? Doctors miss this all the time, which means countless people are dealing with long-term chronic issues with no real solution. I spent years and hundreds of thousands of dollars seeing over 30 specialists searching for answers, until I finally connected the dots. And once I did, I realized something even worse. This isn't rare. Indoor environments are causing mold toxicity in people every day. In this video, I'm breaking down 5 important warning signs of mold toxicity in the body. Have you ever felt an odd buzzing or vibration in your body? Or like something's crawling underneath your skin? I experienced this myself, random vibrations in my arms and legs. This was a very bizarre sensation. At first, I brushed it off, but it started happening more frequently. These sensations typically come from neuroinflammation and nervous system dysfunction. Doctors often misdiagnose this as mineral deficiencies or nerve and muscle issues. It can also overlap with Lyme disease or co-infections. But if none of those fit, your environment might be the real problem. Mold disrupts a host of systems in your body, including nerve signals, that can result in buzzing, tingling, or even crawling sensations. It sounds strange, but for many people exposed to toxic mold, this is a daily experience. This next symptom had my doctors completely stumped. What if normal lights or everyday sounds suddenly became intense? I played drums my entire life, but suddenly, sounds that never bothered me would startle me. Even fluorescent lights and computer screens would immediately strain my eyes. I remember wearing sunglasses while trying to work indoors. It didn't make sense. Doctors often confuse this as allergies, concussions, PTSD, or neurological issues like migraines. But if you're dealing with sensory overload, mold could easily be to blame. This isn't just a sensitivity. It's your brain struggling to process sensory input due to inflammation and limbic system dysfunction from mold toxicity. So if you find yourself needing sunglasses indoors, jumping or flinching at noises, or avoiding screens because they feel overwhelming, don't ignore these symptoms. It's interesting how mold toxicity can cause unexpected reactions from sensory input. It can even have adverse effects on the body's electrical system. Do you ever get random static shocks more than usual? You touch a doorknob, you shake a person's hand, or even touch a car? Well, it can be annoying. What if it's also a warning sign? I noticed this firsthand. I would touch something metal, instant shock. This was happening more often than what seemed normal. I blamed carpet, then it was dry air, but eventually kept happening all the time. Doctors might point to certain vitamin deficiencies, drug withdrawals, diabetic neuropathy, or even nerve issues. But if your body feels like a walking static charge, you should be suspicious of mold exposure. It's important to note that mold can disrupt mitochondria, nerve conduction, and regulation of water and minerals. This dysregulates your body's electrical balance, making static shocks more frequent and intense. The issue with water doesn't end here. It's throwing off one of your body's most essential survival mechanisms, hydration. Do you feel like you're constantly drinking water and having to use the bathroom frequently? I dealt with this for years. I was chugging water all day, front-loading in the mornings, waking up multiple times throughout the night, constantly exhausted and thirsty. This is often confused with the onset of diabetes, kidney issues, hormone imbalances, POTS, amongst several others. But if hydration isn't solving your problem, mold could be the missing link. Mold toxins disrupt your antidiuretic hormone, which controls how your body regulates water. Without enough antidiuretic hormone, your kidneys flush out water too quickly, leading to constant thirst, electrolyte imbalances, fatigue, and chronic dehydration. But the scariest part? Mold doesn't just mess with your hormones, it hijacks your mind. If you've ever dealt with sudden, unexplained anxiety, depression, or panic attacks, I've experienced this myself. I'll never forget how mold led to my very first panic attack and emergency room visit. Everyday normal tasks felt overwhelming. Even excitement and social gatherings triggered unbearable anxiety that I never had before. To make matters worse, doctors played roulette with anxiety meds, conveniently leading me to more ER visits. If that wasn't frustrating enough, it felt like every alarm was going off in my body and I didn't know how to turn it off. Doctors commonly misdiagnose this as general anxiety disorder, PTSD, or some hormone imbalance. If your stress feels constant and uncontrollable, especially in a way that it hasn't before, your indoor environment might be driving it. Toxic mold can trigger fight or flight response 24/7 by disrupting neurotransmitters such as GABA, further dysregulating your gut microbiome, your immune function, and eventually throwing your nervous system into overdrive. These 5 signs feel random and disconnected, but they can tell a really important story. If any of this sounds familiar, it might be time to take a hard look at your environment. Because when it comes to mold toxicity, awareness can be one of the hardest yet most important steps toward your healing or longevity. Now, if you want to learn exactly what to do if you suspect mold toxicity, watch my next video where I'll break down how to identify mold exposure, including environmental signs, range of symptoms, and testing.